Welcome to this new lesson where we're gonna get familiar with the Adobe Premiere Pro, and if you ever used any Adobe program before, you're gonna feel quite familiar with that program too, because like most of the Adobe programs are all similar. Okay, without no further introduction to that topic, when you open the program, you're gonna see your recent files if you used it before, like these files. And you can start new project from here or open a project from your computer. Let's start by new project, for example. When you start with a new project, you're gonna see that screen. It's asking you for the file name. For example, you can give it Adobe Premiere. And here we have our general settings and scratch disk. You're gonna choose that one. If you have a powerful computer, you're gonna choose GPU acceleration, OpenCL. And if you have regular one, you will be on that one by default, and it's gonna really matter only if you're using large 4K files. Okay, and for the video format, display format, we're gonna leave it on timecode because that one is gonna be used for the most of the digital media we are using videos for. Those mainly gonna work with animation or even like video that is shot on film with these characteristics, 16mm or 35mm. So we're gonna stick to timecode most of our videos. And we have audio display format, we're gonna leave it on audio samples. And for the capture, we're gonna leave it as it is, because like video capture or the capture format is when you have a camera attached to your computer or connected to your computer and you're gonna use it to capture videos within the Adobe Premiere. So we're not gonna use that option that much. And for the scratch disks option, we're gonna leave it as same as project as it is on all the settings. And this basically is that Adobe Premiere is always generating files like autosave, audio preview, video preview. You wanna keep them all in the same folder. And we're gonna start opening our project from here. We're gonna press on OK. And now we're gonna see that interface. And by the way, this is the most recent Adobe Premiere Pro CC. And if you have an older version, don't worry, most of them look the same. It's gonna be different slightly in some tool or another, not that much different. You can follow along, don't worry about that. We can adjust our workspace from here. You can go to window and workspace and choose editing. Okay, this one is the most common used interface with the Adobe, but we're gonna go through all those other workspaces. Most of the time you're working on the editing workspace, and those are shortcuts. You can go to any other workspace if you would like to. This audio, for example, and let's go back to editing. And even if you press on editing and it doesn't look the same like mine, you can go to window and check what's opened. Okay, so for example, we have audio meters is opened, and lumetri colors, program monitor, project and source monitor, timeline and tools, workspaces. And to understand the workspace, we're gonna see it in practical way, which gonna demonstrate everything about the project. Open recent, for example, we have the video I created for another course. Okay, this is how it looks like when the Adobe Premiere in action and has a project within it. Okay, starting with our project panel, this is like the layers panels in Photoshop if you tried the Photoshop before, and if you didn't, it's basically your project's elements. So like you put your elements in here, and they could be anything like video files, images, or even sound waves or music or voice overs or anything. You will be in here, and even your sequence, which is your video when it's put in here, it's called sequence. Okay, we will get to that in a little while, don't worry, but like I'm describing that part, which is your project area. You usually start by that area. Okay, so you import your files in here and you start dragging them over from here to there. Okay, so the other panel we have is the source panel, and that source panel is when you double click on anything. For example, here is our website address. You're gonna see that screen, and it's basically like you're previewing your project's elements in here. So for example, audio wave, you're gonna press on that, you're gonna see the waves, and you can choose your in and out point of that element in the video. We're gonna get to that also later. And then we have the effects control. For example, if you are choosing, you can add effects. This is a video file. You can add any effects for your video, like the position, the scale, rotation, and you can add even some animation to your element from that effects control. Okay, and also you can get to the effects from here if you would like to add more effects to your file. So this is different from the effects controls. Okay, but we will get to that later. We can go back to our project from here, which is our elements, video elements in here. And here we have the effects control, and you can switch from that little arrows from here. Then we have the program panel, which is displaying your video, and this is our timeline, where you can see your minutes and your project's time or your video time. Okay, for example, when we have some elements in here, we have our video to edit and we have our images and everything, and we want to start our project, we can drag our video from here and insert it in here, and then you're gonna start a sequence. Okay, and it's gonna look like that, and you have that timeline indicator which you can slide over to choose any specific second or frame of your project. For example, we have this project, for example, or this video starting from 0 till minute 30 almost, or at the end you can get to the end of the project by that, and you can start to move within your video like that, and press a space bar to make your video playing like that, and another space bar to pause it. And this part is our tools. This is a select tool and this is the razor tool, the most important tools of that program, and we're gonna get to talk about those tools also in a little while, but we're gonna go through the practical part and you're gonna know how the program is working through going very practical with that course. Because I really believe that if you're gonna make a project and you're gonna make that practical, you're gonna digest that subject and that program, and you're gonna understand it really better if you're gonna apply what you're learning. So let's make that course a very practical course and apply what we're gonna learn through the lessons on our project. Okay, one more thing I want to talk about. If you want to resize your video or your panels, for example, you want to go like that or go like that to give yourself wider viewing of your project, because like if you have some text in your video and want to see that, you want to go make that wide, and even you can reduce that. And here we have our timeline consists of video channels and audio channels, and you can adjust those audio channels by dragging that separator. So in here we have like video channels and audio channels, and they are used to arrange your items or even put some layers over each other. So if we think of that part as layers or project elements, this part is the real layers or like the real arrangements of layers. We're gonna see that in practical, don't worry about that, but like I'm giving you a quick description of the panels, and you can zoom within that project by that slider, and also you can zoom in here in the timeline with your mouse scroll or trackpad or touchpad of your laptop or desktop. And actually you can zoom in here if you would like from that part as well. We have scales, but always leave it on fit. So if you would like to adjust your workspace in any way you would like, for example, you want to move your tools and put them in here, okay, and you want to get them like that, you can go ahead and save that layout for later. For example, you can save as new workspace. For example, I'm gonna call it Khalil's workspace, and we're gonna save it. Okay, and that one is for audio meter. In here, if you have your videos playing, you can see your audio levels in here, and you can decide if it's too high or within the safe audio range or not. That's it for our lesson, and you're gonna get more familiar with the program within the next lessons.